In Part 1 of Hebrew Astronomy and Revelation, I stated that Part 2 would be about Revelation chapter 12. Due to an eclipse that will occur just prior to the Revelation 12 event, I am making Part 2 about the eclipse. Even though I have not found a specific scripture that correlates with this event, I do believe that it may be prophetically significant and point to events in Revelation. On 8/21/2017, out in the middle of the northern Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Hawaii and Alaska, the sun will rise in a state of eclipse. The ancient Hebrews believed that a solar eclipse was an omen about Gentile nations, and a lunar eclipse was about Israel. The United States has not seen a total eclipse since 1979. The last coast-to-coast total eclipse was June 8, 1918. This was the same year as the Great Pandemic, when 30% of the world was ill with influenza. It resulted in more deaths than 100 years of the Black Plague. This eclipse will take place 1 month before the Revelation 12 alignment. It is at the end of the Hebrew month of Av, the 5th month. Av is the month when both the first and second temples were destroyed in Jerusalem, and is a time of mourning for Jews. Prophetically speaking, the number 5 represents grace. As this eclipse is primarily focused on the United States, this may be a sign that the time of God's grace is coming to an end. The path of the eclipse is diagonal through the continental United States. It starts about halfway between Alaska and Hawaii, and then goes from Oregon to South Carolina. The points of greatest eclipse and greatest duration will be about the middle of the continental United States, both geographically and by population. The path of this eclipse will bring darkness to 5 state capital cities: Salem, Oregon, Lincoln, Nebraska, Jefferson City, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, and Columbia, South Carolina. Another 5 possibly speaking about grace. Then 7 years later, on April 8, 2024, there will be a second total eclipse that will transect the continental United States. It will travel diagonally from South Texas through Maine. Its path will intersect almost exactly with the 2017 point of greatest duration. The eclipse in 2017 will happen at the star Regulus in the constellation of Leo. Regulus is the brightest star in Leo, the King constellation. It is also one of the brightest stars in the night sky. Regulus means prince in Latin. This seems to be pointing to the coming king. The 2024 eclipse will take place in the constellation Pisces. The sun will be obscuring the minor planet Chiron. I stated in Part 1 that I believe Chiron represents the chief spiritual being that comes against believers in Messiah Jesus. Chiron entered the lower fish of Pisces around April of 2015. The fish symbol represents Christians. It will be leaving the lower fish in April of 2024. I believe this eclipse speaks of the approaching end of the spiritual attack on believers. I am not a prophet. I am simply noticing some celestial events that, in the light of ancient Hebrew beliefs, may hold prophetic meaning. There are some that believe that the United States is Mystery Babylon, spoken of in the book of Revelation. If this is so, these events may indeed have significance. 1 Thessalonians 5:4 says, "But you, brothers, aren't in darkness, that the day should overtake you like a thief." Parts 1 and 2 have primarily been a reference resource for the information we will cover in the next couple videos. In Part 3, we will start looking at the Revelation 12 event and beyond. If you like what you are seeing, please share with your friends. Click on the subscribe button to have new videos show up in your recommended list on YouTube.